Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in Legacy. Today we're looking at Sneak and Show. Sneak and Show is a blue-red combo deck that involves cheating out the huge threats Gristlebrand, Emrakul, and Omniscience with Show and Tell and Sneak Attack. The two main combo cards can be ramped into with fast mana such as Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, Lotus Petal, and Simian's Spirit Guide, usually by turn 2. Show and Tell requires 3 mana, whereas Sneak Attack requires 4 or 5 if you want to attack immediately. From there, a number of lines open up depending on which threat you cheat out. The best sequence is Show and Telling and Omniscience followed by casting Emrakul, since then you get its extra turn cast trigger. If you don't have Emrakul, you can find it with Gristlebrand or various cantrips in the deck. If you Show and Tell just Emrakul, this can also be enough. There are some ways to answer Emrakul, including Solitude or Karakas, but your opponent won't always have them. Omniscience also stops bounce effects like Karakas from being effective, since you can just immediately play Emrakul again. If you Sneak Attack out Emrakul, you can immediately attack with it and trigger its Annihilator ability. Next is Gristlebrand. If you Show and Tell just Gristlebrand, you may be able to draw enough cards to find Emrakul or Omniscience plus another Show and Tell, and enough Lotus Petals and Spirit Guides to cast them. Sneak Attack does the same, except you can also cheat out Emrakul to attack with, or draw more cards post-combat after you've gained life with Gristlebrand to try for Omniscience and Emrakul to get another turn. A less common line from a less frequently played card is Cunning Wish, which sets up a combo with Omniscience. The simple line is to wish for Intuition, then find 3 copies of Emrakul. In the complicated line, first retrieve Firemind's Foresight from the sideboard. Next, tutor for another Cunning Wish, Impulse, and Brainstorm. Impulse and Brainstorm together dig through 7 cards, which should be enough to find a high mana value spell and put it on top of your library. The second Cunning Wish finds Release the Ants, which, with the high value spell on top of your deck, can be cast over and over at the opponent to deal lethal damage, since you'll probably win the clash. The advantage of Cunning Wish is that it opens up various cards that can be retrieved from the sideboard with uses outside of the combo. The downside is that it requires Omniscience to combo and subtracts from slots in the deck that could be used for other cards. The rest of the deck is made up of various cantrips to find the combo pieces, and Force of Will and or Daze to either protect the combo or disrupt the opponent. Otherwise, the deck is pretty straightforward. Because the only interaction the deck has is Force of Will or Daze, it's susceptible to counterspells, hate cards, and other combo decks, and must use its sideboard to shore up those matchups. Typical sideboard cards are niche and hate spells like Carpet of Flowers, Meltdown, Surgical Extraction, Magus of the Moon, and Engineered Explosives, and anti-counterspell or anti-combo cards like Spell Pierce, Flusterstorm, Veil of Summer, Defense Grid, and Pyroblast. Tips and tricks. If you have exactly 4 mana, you can Show and Tell in Sneak Attack and activate it immediately. If you previously Sneak Attacked an Emrakul and your opponent is now low on life and permanence, Simian's Spirit Guide is technically a creature that can attack them. If you have multiple Show and Tells or Sneak Attacks but nothing to put in with them and you're confident your opponent has a counterspell, it can be correct to cast one anyway, since your opponent will almost certainly counter it, hopefully reducing their answers and letting you cast one of consequence later. If you get Omniscience into play and have an Emrakul, don't necessarily cast it immediately. Use your cantrips to find protection for it first if you can. There isn't much that beats Emrakul, but there are some cards that do, such as Solitude. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Sneak and Show. I want to thank my fellow players in the Magic community for whom sharing their experiences helps make these guides possible. You can find additional resources, such as an up-to-date deck list, in the description. If you think I left out anything important or got something wrong, please leave your thoughts in the comments. And stay tuned to see what deck we look at next time.